conversations with your approach to money. Very happy to have you here. So we're going to be continuing our theme about springing into action. As always, this is a live and interactive event. So whether you're joining us from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or the Zoom room itself, always want to make sure that you are putting your questions, putting your thoughts into the chat box below. The team and Laura will try to answer as many of them as possible during the conversation. And again, help you on your path towards millionaire maker math and building your wealth goals. Now, last week, we actually gave you a little bit of homework. We asked you a question. We're going to be leading off with that today. We wanted to know, what was your spring into action? And we also want to know, did you do it? What sort of progress did you make towards it? Because that's going to tell you a little bit about where you're at and whether you're committed or interested towards this conversation that Laurel leads and what we do here in the Integrated Wealth and Millionaires in Training Group. So, Laurel, how are we doing today, ma'am?
I'm good. I'm just writing that in the chat. What is your spring into action goals? All right. And we have Mel Mason with us. So we're going to actually talk a little bit about what you've been doing, young lady. So if you want to know if you're prepared to come live with us, but we'll do that in a moment. So again, what is your spring into action goals? What are you going to do? Like, this is the month we talked about last week. We're going to continue to talk about it. This is the month that you get to reset. Right. So spring isn't just about spring, right? Because that legitimately happened in March. This is about really springing and resetting. So we're only in month 4 of the year. And if you're looking at 2021 goals, you still have time to reset and make it work. Now, some of you, you're way behind. You have to get coached. I'm just going to continue to say that. Some of you have been realizing, and I'll start using some of Mel's, language, and it's our language. We talk a lot about it, your revenue producing day and strengthening your atrophied entrepreneurial muscles. But, specifically, a lot of you don't have revenue producing muscles, right? You have busy muscles. And for you to get in a good conditioning program, it's every day, which, by the way, Mel, I haven't seen your text in a few days. So I'll bring her on. She's the one that is done the best with this challenge of make money every day. Abandon your funnel, do whatever it takes. And I don't care, like minimums ideally are $10, but do what it takes. So sell anything through your ask till ask. What do you need? In any area. Some of you, obviously, if your funnel is working, stay in the lane of your skill set and your funnel. So, as we are in the Spring into Action campaign, let's go ahead and put the link in there, Thomas. The Spring into Action campaign is about a reset. Like Q2, you still can catch up. If this was a July call, you're going to have to probably reset the goal. There's very few of you, unless you do everything we say every day to get your systems, your team, your marketing, and your sales process organized, that can catch up from 6 months if you didn't get it fixed. So this is really serious timing for all of you. We take this, I think all of you know me well enough. We don't do this because we need to stay busy. We do this because we know a lot of our clients, I'd say 80%, need new income on a regular basis. And even our multimillionaires, and I think a lot of you, sometimes you don't see them out here, but they're always on our big table, our laser calls, our after hour calls. I mean, they're all looking for new money. Why? Because there's new assets. There's always new assets. There's always this is the year, this is the season, I'm going to say, when all of the fallout from COVID, we're going to start seeing that falling out more and more and more. Now, if they continue stimulus, we might not see it. But I know there's landlords that are dying in California. I mean, they have full apartments, half are paying, half aren't paying. They can't carry that. I have people with commercial buildings, they can't carry, people have just moved out and closed up shop and they abandoned their lease. So there's a lot that's going to fall down in the next, I'd say it's going to be a couple, year to a year and a half. So are you ready? Right. So even if you say, well, I have enough cash flow, my business is fine, which I don't think any of you, would any of you say, yes, your business is exactly where you want it? Hell no. I like that. Thank you. It's like, yeah, for most of you, it's a hell no. Right. And then again, the question we asked last week is how much, what's the percent, how far are you off track and how much do we have to course correct? But that means you need to take the initiative to get with your coach, get to fast cash calls. And again, fast cash calls are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if you're in table, get to laser calls. Like it is, you have to initiate. Like we're not your employer. That's kind of my new theme too. A lot of you think that we're your employer. Well, it kind of doesn't work like that. We're not your employer. We are not going to, tell you to get up and, get to work every day. You just know you have to. The problem is a lot of you are working on weird shit. You're working on stuff that doesn't matter. And then today we're going to talk a little bit about, so let's just go in today's topic, meaning versus chatter. Like, think about a revenue producing day. And, we're resetting some things in our company as well. Like, we're always doing what we coach you. That's why it's so natural for us, because we just do what we coach you to do. And we're doing it. It works for us. It works for a lot of people. It's working for Mel. It's working for, the clients that are really, really engaging and doing what we're asking. And for a lot of you, like, it still doesn't work. It still doesn't work. And you still haven't made more than 5 phone calls a day. Like, you're going to have to get on the phone. You're going to have to, again, like, create some meaning out of this. Like, get back to your big why. Like, why do you want to make more money? Right? What's the big reason? Right? And don't just be casual and say, so what is your big reason? Why do you want to become a millionaire, make more money? What's the big why? Right? Mine is to change the conversation with money and change it in the households. When Kyle and our book comes out, which, I think realistically, Thomas, if you want to keep pushing on that contract to get finished to the finish line, it'll probably be spring of 2022. And, there's a part of us says we don't want to wait that long for that content. So we're going to be sprinkling it throughout our year. But 2022 will be a lot of legacy work because of that book coming out. My point is, it's extremely meaningful. It's going to be in the houses of a lot of places. This Friday, one of my first in a long time, I'm going to Georgia Southern University and talking to, for sure, the football team, but any other NCAA athletes that want to join. I'm going to do basic training for financial fitness. Super excited about that. Friday from 5 to 6 Eastern. It'll be recorded. We'll have that available on the other side. Super excited to do that. And that's our charity. We do tons of that kind of work for, I would say, the, teenagers and young adults, right? That's our charity. That's our meaning. That's what we're here to do, is change your conversation and get you having the result. What's your meaning? I'm not seeing a lot going on in the chat out there. What is your big why? Why do you want to make more money? Right? What's your big why? And if you don't have it, then it's a hard thing to get up every day and say, yeah, I just got to make money to pay bills. At some point, that's not motivating, right? If you're really just going to get up and pay bills, you might as well just get a job. Oh, but then you'd have to go to work. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but there's not a company that I'm a part of that is having any, I shouldn't say luck, I don't like that word. I'd say struggling to find people to come to work because of the stimulus and the unemployment. It is unbelievable how lazy people are. I think the one thing COVID has done, maybe we don't even have to do anything about it, but it has absolutely told you who has a work ethic and who doesn't, right? I almost want to put that on an application, Thomas and Steve, like behind the scenes, we should say, did you take unemployment and for how long during COVID? Like, I get that some people needed to do it, but shit, if you're still on it, you're just lazy. And I was on a podcast. I'll never be invited back to that podcast where the guy was like, I'm free. And I'm like, you're not free. You're lazy. He's like, I'm on unemployment. I'm like, that's not freedom. That is lazy. So meaning, what is it to you? Like, no one but you and your family can identify that. And the chatter is what a lot of you are living in. And again, probably the program that talks about this best, well, it's about the S Energy book because we're talking about the roadmap, but I can tell you inside here, there's a whole section that Bob and I did on just quieting the noise in your life. Like, how do you really quiet the noise? And a lot of that is attached to the meaning. What is the most important things for you? What's really critical? What can you say no to? I say that, and I know we're going to be doing that today as a company. Like, there's a lot of things we're asked to do, and does it really value to us as a company, or is it just, because, people want me to forward their book or do this campaign or do whatever? We're really, doing the same thing we're asking you to do, is get really, really clear, get rid of the chatter, get back to the meaning, and then do your revenue producing activities. So your revenue producing activities are really, got to be motivated by your yes energy. Let me talk a little bit about the Yes Energy roadmap specifically. So when you do our campaign, which is askloral.com/spring, is that correct, Thomas?
That's correct.
You're going to fill out an application. You're going to do an interview. And I know a lot of you have not done an interview because your interview will be with John specifically. We are all sending all of these to one person. He and his team. Steve, if you want to there could be Matt. I think there's a second John. There's a whole team that is getting these applications to do interviews. and to talk to you specifically about this reset and what are you doing in 2021. The Yes Energy Roadmap, when I launched the book, I did 4 videos, one on just the mindset of having yes energy. How do you get up every day and have a yes day, even though sometimes you're going to wake up to a no day? Like last week, I had a few no days I shared with you. And then by the end of the day, and I think it's really critical you start doing this. If you have a no day, you just don't blow up the day, right? This is that muscle conditioning. You got to, you know, take a step back from it. Do you think about last month's lesson on self-management? And again, Thomas, if you want to put our link to the podcast, we're on Spotify, we are on iTunes, all of that got fixed. So it was interesting to have all of you download and see where we had a few glitches that our provider had some glitches, but now you should be able to get my podcast anywhere. And iHeartRadio also, Thomas, we got to figure out where that is and easily found. But my point is go back into the podcast about luck and intention. And the third, just because I love that series we did of 5, the third lesson was about self-management. So if you really want to reduce the clutter and the chatter, it's like, what's the most meeting? What are your highest skill sets? How do you, even if you're having a no day, get it to a yes day? And what are the strategies you're going to employ and really bring into your life to get what you want, right? So I want to bring Mel on really quick because Mel has done an enormous job of getting those atrophied revenue muscles to produce. So Mel, are you, can you come live for a little minute? And we're going to do this campaign formally for all of you through the summer. We've actually decided to engage the campaign for the whole summer, Mel. Can you imagine 90 days of this?
Oh my God, yeah.
It'll change
that muscle will get strong finally.
Yeah, so tell a little, so here's what happened. I was coaching with Mel and noticing, like, well, first of all, her prices were lower. So we did a lot of coaching around her prices and the funnel. And then I gave her permission to abandon her funnels. Probably the first time I've done that in a client for a long time. So talk about your results. Now you're past 30 days. How many days are you at today?
You know, I lost count, whatever day it was, plus I've done it every day since we last talked. So it's 30 something days. I've kind of lost count. I haven't looked because I've been traveling, but I think it's like, what, 35 or 36 since I last chatted with you. My next assignment from you is to up level all those people that have bought from me. So I sent emails to everybody. I've got people booking calls with me to get on the phone with me. So they're scheduling in my calendar link when I get back from vacation, or my traveling, not vacation, wrong word.
Tomorrow to see my partner. He just happens to be my son, but I'm on a business with him.
That's right.
Same.
That's right. So
5 days, Mel. How many days have you made money?
all of them at -2.
Okay. So the rest of you, are you willing to take this challenge? And so talk a little bit about the early days, like what we did. And what I did is she had to text Damon and I every day and let us know if she made a sale. The minimum amount she could sell was $10, and she could abandon her cart, abandon her funnel, and literally sell anything. I don't care if she eBayed shoes, eBayed jewelry, eBayed her dog. I don't care what she sold, but she had to sell. So talk to our audience a little bit about what that's done in the beginning, kind of the beginning days.
Well, the first thing that was happening in my mind was, oh shit, oh fuck, what did I get myself into? What did I sign up for by hiring you? Because this is like a huge challenge, but now I have to do it because revenue producing days was not my priority. That revenue generating muscle was completely atrophied. So I was like, oh my God, like this has to be something that's on my mind every day. Like this has to be my priority when I wake up. Like I have to make money today. Like, how am I going to do this? No matter what it takes, like, how am I going to do this? And so for me, because I've been traveling since Reno with you, I literally have not been getting on the phone with people. I've been creating a canned message about selling my book. I have a book that I wrote. So I'm offering people a personalized autographed copy of my book and a clutter assessment to get people to work with me privately through Facebook Messenger. And I've been getting at least a sale a day. And my new assignment is to now upsell those people into a higher ticket item. Yep. So it's been interesting. It's been definitely challenging, but I'm so grateful that I'm doing it because it's like the awareness of how atrophied this muscle is. And just like I teach my clients, like the letting go muscle is atrophied. They need to let go and build that muscle. I need to generate revenue every day and get in that habit. And it's just so not a habit yet, even after 30 days. Like some habits take way longer to build. This is one of those muscles that needs a lot of training.
And how much have you made so far? You made what, between 8,000 and 9,000?
Yeah, it was a little over 8K. Yep.
So I want to remind all of you, including you, Mel, right? The goal when you hired us was to, get way past that 6 figures. So month one, just say, I mean, if it's 8333, you do month two, but see month two, now she's got a bigger assignment. She's got to go back to all those buyers and upsell them deeper in her funnel. So what we're doing is we're going to take at least, well, we're not going to stop with you, Mel. We're not going to stop with any of it, but any of you are willing to take this challenge. The first 30 is, and we really started with 10 and then you just kept going, which was awesome. So you're really helping us create a new challenge, a new process that I think for a lot of you that are not selling your funnel, it gives you some freedom to abandon your funnel and sell some. So talk about some of the things you sold that are completely not about decluttering your life and your mind.
One of the main things that I wind up saying is I actually do pet sitting on the side as an extra stream of income. So I just happen to have a pet sitting job that I got paid for and things like that. That's my other stream of income. So it's been my book, pet sitting, and then because you helped me raise my baseline for my coaching prices, I enrolled a new client into my higher rate of coaching at $8K for pay in full.
Yeah. So now our goal, right? So let's just say, so I do want to have you text us exactly how much in your 30 days. So if that's around 8333, you do that every month, you're making 100 grand. But really this month, I want you to go up at least 10%, right? So let's get to that 9,000, even 10,000. And then you're going to start seeing that ramp up where like the new norm for all of you that have ever been with us needs to be in the $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month range, because you don't need to live on all that. It gives you plenty of money to get the team organized to support your infrastructure, right? The Scotts, the Eileens, all of those. And then it gives you some money to hire people. See, the good news is once Mel's through this next 60 days and then the 90 days, wait till you see. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, but that will be the game changer because you'll have enough muscles by then and enough reselling current clients. And yes, you can imagine that we're going to say, sell that next layer of clients, and go again to the next upper sell in your funnel. But that's not only what we're going to do. You're going to get some freedom once you hit, and go past that 10,000 a month mark. And the better thing too is all of you can start buying assets, which that's without buying assets, your path to millionaire status gets rough or impossible. So congratulations, Mel. Excited to have you. Glad we did this. And we're going to offer it out to everybody. We're going to have a hell of a fun summer, money-making summer. It's going to be like money camp for adults.
Build those revenue generating muscles.
Yeah, we're all going to basic training to build some muscles. So thanks, Mel. Appreciate you sharing.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right. So that's your homework. Like we are going to really create that meaning. So again, if you're not journaling, what is your meaning? What's going to get you up every day for your big yes? Like, what are those milestones, those Freedom Day milestones, right? And very clearly lay them out. And I a lot of you operate everything on your phone and everything on your device, but I'm a huge visual, and I can tell you from a learning and a memorization technique. If you ask Jim Quick, who I think is one of the best memorized and super brain teachers in the world, we should bring him. Let's bring him to one of our calls. I would love to bring him back. He taught my son, who hated to study, and I said, how I got through school really fast is I learned to speed read and I learned memory techniques. So I tell you, it changes your brain when you can process that way. My point is put up big visuals, like a big vision board. When, I don't care if you handwrite it. What are the things that need to get accomplished? How many things do you want to buy? I had this guy, this is the funniest story, kind of tangled up my whole morning, but a guy just knocked on my door this morning, and we live out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we could, as Steve said, he took his family to an animal like reserve kind of a place. I said, well, you just come to our, we've got all sorts of animals. We have from bears to deers to you name it. We probably have at least 18 owls, eagles, you name them. Anyway, my point is this guy comes in the middle of nowhere, knocks on the door. I'm like, He said, we were down paving a judge's driveway. And we just were driving around. We have way too many materials. And we just thought maybe you'd want your driveway asphalted for half price. I called my husband. I said, do we want versus rock? Anyway, my point is I'm going to get him as a client because he got me as a client. And I was like, well done. Like how often? He said, I do it all the time. He said, I have one a day. I have to go find a new client a day when we're driving around. I thought, genius. So we just started talking about what I'm doing, what he does. And anyway, he also invests in storage units. So, I'm going to get him to be a client. He's going to come to the big table, and then we'll have some storage units to invest in. So this is how all this works. I think a lot of you think this is an interesting story that we tell. Is how we live. So watch and get ready, spring into action, like really get set. Because as we launch into this money-making campaign, we haven't really named it. If anybody has some fun names for it, Mel, maybe you have a fun name for what we're doing. It's intense. And I think it's not just a fun challenge and an accountable challenge. It will change your life because it will put money in a priority, not the most important thing. Don't get all weird about that. It was not the most important thing. No, but it has the most impact. So just handle it. So it's down and it's like in your life, right? Once that muscle's like strengthened, then you just have a repetitive thing that you do every day to keep in a revenue producing day. So create more meaning, figure out what that yes is going to be. Only you can create it. We can brainstorm it, but only you can be the one to create and change a no day to a yes day. And there's a lot of manifesting in it. There's a lot of how you're thinking in it. But there is a thinking video on the roadmap. So please dig into the roadmap. So the way the campaign works is you sign up, you get the Yes Energy book, then you fill out an application and do an interview, and then you get the roadmap. The roadmap is the mindset work on Yes Energy. It is a sales training on Yes Energy. It is your libido, which is that driving physical energy, that motivational energy you need to get up and go every day. And what's the other one? There's 4 videos. It's like a success actionable video on how to actually implement the Yes Energy in your life. It's, me and my how-tos. So 4 awesome videos, all comprised. It's not for sale. So you got to go out and get it. You get it for free when you do an application and an interview. And our team's tracking that. Then the big bonus is go find somebody else outside of our community to do an application and an interview. Then you get a $2,000 gift, which is our 100K blueprint. 39 videos, and it supports these challenges on how to make money. So we're excited. We have some fun stuff. We're going to continue to immerse you in money-making activities. And then, as we head into the summer and you're all making 8, 9, 10,000 a month, 12, 15,000 a month, then we're going to start, continue to talk about more investing and getting off your lazy assets. Because what do you do with all that money you're going to make? You got to put it to work. So with that, Thomas, anything you want to add, or we can do a few Ask Loral questions?
Want to make sure that everyone knows, go to askloral.com/spring. So you can sign up for that contest that Laurel was just talking about. Again, those downloads get access to that videos. Other link that Laurel just mentioned, realmoneytalkspodcast.com. Fastest way now to get the podcast available through the Apple's iTunes store. So realmoneytalkspodcast.com. You can also go to the website, click on podcast and listen to it directly. But the better way to do is to go to the Apple store, download it, review it, let people know how well it's working for you, how much you like listening to it, and help us spread the word about Laurel's unique conversation to money. So that's what we've got with the podcast right now. And then let's see here, have some questions that we wanted to do last week. Let's see. Laura, we had the question last week about the wealth account. Someone wanted to know what do they need to know when they start setting that up, or how to go about creating that for use moving forward.
So, in the good old days when I wrote the books and until really Flip Wall Street became what the business that it's become, I said, well, just go get a money market account. So it's an account where it's identified for only assets. So this is the money that you're putting away. If you can do at least 10%, this is pay yourself first, but into a wealth account. The wealth account is a money market account, but I'd use Flip now. So put our Flip link in to go see the webinar. The way Randy and the company wants it done is you go see a webinar. This is an algorithmic software that takes you in and out of the market. There are Bitcoin options. There's soon to be a whole digital currency portfolio. But what it does is it actually protects you from the downside of the market. So all of us that had Flip last year in March, when the market crashed a year ago, 2020, I only lost 2.8%. The market itself was down 33. It was actually, it hit 1929 lows. So not 2029, 1929 lows. So what this software does, it pulls you out of the market by very strategic math equations and keeps you safer in the market. So at least now, and when you're in the market, like, mine and my son and daughter, our accounts are making somewhere, depending on which portfolio we're in, 42 to 78%. So we're killing it. And then if it feels like the market's fluctuating and too volatile, then they take you out of the market, and it automatically takes you in and out for the highest profits. So that is really what we are encouraging people to do. It's a software. You can get the app for free. Those of you international, you do have to actually go through your desktop to download it. And you just move your money through there. So at least it's a place that your money is making money finally. And it's very safe. And it's an easy starter kit, I call it. Then once your money gets up to 20, 30, 40,000 in that account, then you can consider saying, well, maybe I want to go buy some real estate with somebody, or I want to go do some other asset classes. But money, the wealth account is a place to put money so you start building assets and investments. And that is the number one mistake with millionaires or people becoming a millionaire, is they think they have to be debt free, then go do investing. It's completely not that. You have to actually get your money making money. And over time, slowly, you'll apply some cash to getting rid of your debt. Let's do one more question.
All right, next question. Well, we had a follow-up question from that in the private chat line there. Thoughts about cryptocurrencies as part of the wealth account? Would you do that?
Absolutely not. If you don't know, if you're not an expert and you don't know what you're doing, absolutely not. And the reason is, you right now, unless you are really savvy, you can't get it back to fiat currency. And right now, for a lot of you, you're still on what I call the basics. You're not even like have enough money, to put money there. So, of your wealth account, once you get it put over and flip, I would use Flip to do some. You could use Coinbase to do a little, but are you really going to be, in a place where you're going to divest from digital currency to go buy real estate? So again, these are money rules. That's a whole nother topic of how you do money rules. But for beginners, it's not even a no, it's a hell no. It's a hell no for you. Because you're going to get money in there and you don't know how to get it out. You can't get back to fiat currency. You're going to need to pay something and you don't know how to get it back out. So if you're savvy and you know how to do that, then, take a walk that direction. But I can tell you some of the most conservative investments is Flip, is like a construction note, like with a Tim Kristovich or something, where you're just, in a debt position, borrowing somebody money that's in a first position, not second, first. Life insurance, like the way Jason talks about our banking insurance. There's some kind of safe, easy things that you can get doing. All right, so let's do one more question.
Laura, what's your number one tax lowering strategy?
Number one, I got 83,000 pages of them. I cumulatively use all of them.
Well, they asked for 3, but I know you're taking a flight for a business trip.
So number 111 would be, I live completely to the absolute maximum through my corporate structures. So like our real estate company, mine and Logan's, is paying for this trip, right? So it's taking us on a trip. We're going to go see Logan. We're going to talk about our real estate. I'm bringing some things he has to sign. We're also going to be talking about our Flip accounts that are part of those companies. So we're going on a business trip. So I thoroughly, completely, kids working for the company, I gift the kids into their trust, like we use it all. But I'd say the number one is I live completely through corporate structures outside of about 8 little things, which is why I have a paycheck from my company that pays for those 8 things I can't deduct. And if you are not that set up, you need to get that set up. So again, we're going to roll today, and you got to spring into action. So next week, we've got more on our Yes Energy roadmap, more on this topic and conversation. The thing I want to leave you with is, and I'll leave you to kind of complete the call on this, Thomas, is what is in your mind for those of you watching, and this is also you and the MIT group. I'll speak to you guys specifically in our Facebook group. Bring some friends over there, have them fill out your application, do an interview, join our Millionaires in Training group. What is the number one reset that you have to do? Is it you? Is it the system? Is it the team? What do you need to reset from what you said you wanted January 1st, 2021 to right now? And let's focus on that. And then between now and next week, work on it. And Thomas, let's have that be the first question as we come into next week. What did you do as your number one reset?
Yep.
What was meaningful? What chatter did you get rid of? Like all of that. But what's the number one reset? And what did you do about it? We'll ask you next week. So I'll let you continue to deepen that, Thomas, as we wrap up the call.
Will do, Laurel. Thank you. And again, for everyone who is here, go to asklaurel.com/spring to get entered into that promotional contest that we have. When you opt in, you will get the Yes Energy book. After that, once you complete the application, fill out the interview, you'll get access to the 4 videos that Laurel spoke about. And then to the next level, if you have someone who opts into the campaign at the same time and does those elements, also does the interview, you'll get access to the 39 video 100K challenge blueprint module set, worth literally thousands of dollars, and showing you how to add an additional $100,000 in revenue over the course of a 12-month period as the reward and result for doing that. Again, it's not just the first person who does it, it's anyone who does it as a part of this contest. So again, go to askloral.com/spring to get involved with that. Also want to make sure that we have everyone go to realmoneytalkspodcast.com. That will take you to the Apple iTunes store where you can rate, review the podcast, let everyone know how it's changing your approach to money and help spread the word with regards to Laurel's conversation about money as well as your own. And again, next week, folks, we are going to be asking you, what is your number one reset this year as you are working towards your goals that were originally set at the beginning of the year? So just like last week, practicing what we preach, we asked you what was going to be your big spring into action item. And next week, we'll be following that up with what is the item that you need to reset or revisit in an effort to hit your goals moving forward through the year. As always, if you are having questions with regards to the team here, you can reach out. Call into the office at 775-588-9200. And then if you have want to send us an email with any questions or concerns about what you have, Steve, can you put the best support email address in the chat box there so people know where they can email any questions, concerns, or other items accordingly? It's asklaurel@askiws.com. Email that. The team will get back to it as soon as they can. Take care of you all and move forward appropriately. So on behalf of everyone here on Integrated Wealth Systems and Laurel Langemeier, we thank you for joining us this week. Look forward to seeing you next week, as again, we'll ask you, what is your number one item that you need to reset in order to help reach your goals for 2021? Thank you all. We'll see you soon.